All right, everybody, we're back. NFL Pod, handing out picks. Brian's in Cancun, and I'm in the city of Philadelphia. What's going on, Bri? How was your week, man?
Loving Cancun. I'm not the only one here anymore. All my NL East friends are over here now. Looking forward to
Well,
Halloween weekend.
sounds like some good stuff, man. If you see Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, or any of those guys, especially Nick Castellanos, make sure you do not buy them a shot. But yeah, baseball's done. I know the World Series is kicking off. I don't care. I'm not watching it. This isn't the baseball pod. This isn't the MLB pod. I'm not getting into baseball. Not dealing with it. This is the NFL pod, though. Like I kind of have been saying, we have been red hot handing out picks. I had a little bit of a colder weekend last weekend, but hey, look, when you're red hot 5, 6 weeks in a row, you're gonna have a down week here and there. It's just what it is. So we're back with the NFL picks. Like I always say, I still don't have any other podcast, any other site, any other social media, whatever, this, that, and the third, that's handing out free picks and hitting at a pretty high rate. So if you can find that for me, please send it my way. I still have yet to find somebody other than us that are handing out free picks for every game on the slate. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to jump into a hot one. Eagles Commanders to kick off the pod. Red hot birds after a beatdown of the Miami Dolphins last week. A beatdown of the Dolphins. Birds 7-point favorites. Interesting fact, A.J. Brown, 5 consecutive games of 125 receiving yards. I believe the record is Calvin Johnson with 6. So something very interesting to look out for in the game. Yeah, 125 yards for A.J. Brown against, a pretty lackluster Commanders defense does not seem like a stretch at all. So for, breaking the record's sake, or at least trying the record, I will take A.J. Brown 125 receiving yards just for the fuck of it. I'll go with my birds -7. I think they kind of figure it out. They always usually play relatively well down in Washington. It's more when the Commanders come up to Philly, they seem to give the Eagles problems. So, Eagles everywhere will travel well. There'll be a lot of Eagles fans, invading the nation's capital this week, even though they play in Landover, Maryland, which I'm pretty sure is pretty far away from the city of DC.
Good
So
45 minutes.
yeah, so we'll have a lot of Eagle fans down there invading close to the nation's capital, we can call it. But yeah, I will take the Eagles -7 as my absolute love pick. And for, tying the record's sake, I got to roll my guy A.J. Brown 125 on the receiving yards. Brian, over to you, man. Let's hear some anti-Eagles talk.
Give me Brian Robinson through. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the Eagles fans invading my home this week. And they're probably going to go home happy. I do not have faith in the Commanders to get a win. They look absolutely horrible. Sam Howell could not get a win in New York last week against Tyrod Taylor. We'll talk about the Giants later. But yeah, I don't have any faith in this team. I can't bet on the Eagles. So I think I'm going to go with some unders here. Going to take a Jalen Hurts under passing yards, A.J. Brown and under on receiving yards. He's not breaking Calvin's record. Megatron will stand tall.
Wow.
And then we'll go with DeAndre Swift under rushing. So that's the anti-Eagles parlay this week.
So just a bunch of unders. You're not confident to take the Commanders' money line, which I don't blame you. Something to look out for, Jalen Hurts. Something going on with the knee, wearing a brace, not really commenting on the injury when he's asked about it. Nick Sirianni, pretty much laid out to reporters this week on how he strings them along all week, on how he doesn't reveal any information about injury. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, could be something going on with Hurts' knee. We're not getting much information out of the Philadelphia organization, but something to look out for. Maybe Brian's got an angle with, the unders there, especially on the Hurts one. Probably wasn't even thinking about the injury, just just straight anti-Eagles stuff right there.
A little
But
bit of both.
and one more little quick nugget on that game. We are seeing the debut of Kevin Byard, recently acquired from the Tennessee Titans. Big power move by Howie Roseman. Pretty much got him for a steal. The guy's from Philadelphia. Starting, I mean, slots right in as just an elite starting safety for an already pretty loaded defense and obviously a loaded roster. Brian, I see you're shaking your head and throwing your hands up. I just want to hear what you got to say about that.
I'm ready to call collusion here. Like, what is going on in Tennessee? They get AJ Brown for nothing, and now they got Kevin Byard. They're gonna get Derrick Henry next. Like,
So that's interesting you say that. That's interesting you say that. I have seen some reports of some
of
mock
course you have.
trades, on Derrick Henry coming over, to get that man a ring because obviously he's put a lot of time and effort into the NFL. He deserves a real shot. But moving on, we don't have Jack this week. He is, out of the country doing what he does. So it is his Jaguars taking on the Steelers. I believe, the Steelers are at home.
Yep.
I've been fading the Jags all year. They might make me eat it here, but I love the Steelers at home, man. I love the Steelers at home as a dog. I know they're plus 2.5 right now. I'm not going to talk about anything. Just give me the Steelers. I'm going to buy a point. Just give me the Steelers plus 3.5. And should be an interesting one. What do you got, Bry?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually like the Steelers on the money line here. This team in close games, just the last couple of years, figures it out. They win these games, and then you look at the end of the year, and they're a playoff team, and you're like, how? And this is how. You got a 2.5 spread at home as an underdog. Mike Tomlin does not lose at home as an underdog.
Right.
I'm taking him on the money line. Give me the plus money. Jack's not here to defend his Jags, so I will just shit on him. A little quick note about the Steelers. So since 2020, they have the fourth most points scored in the NFL with 427, and they've given up the second fewest points in the fourth quarter with 299. So it just goes to show you in these close games, they figure it out. And with this 2-point spread, I like them here. I think they win it. I guess it's not Heinz Field anymore, but they win it whatever the fuck it's called now, and they take care of
it. Yeah. So, I like I said, I don't know. I could see maybe a field goal at the end for the Jags, but I don't know how the Jags really play in tight games. I can't remember. I feel like most of their games have been pretty. They've won by a decent amount of points. Maybe that Bills game was kind of tight. But like I said, I like the Steelers plus 3.5 at home. Last interesting thing is the Jags are 3-0 on the road this year, so something to maybe look out for. But again, the Steelers, like you said, Steelers at home as underdogs. Mike Tomlin, they're good. They're a good organization. I think they'll be up for this task. So you're on the money line, which
it.
I don't hate, but for my official pick, I'm going to buy the point and just take plus 3.5. I'm pretty sure it's like Steelers plus 1.5, plus 2.5, and that's like minus 105. So I'm sure plus 3.5 is like minus 130, minus 140, maybe minus 150. I highly doubt it's minus 150, but I think you can get some pretty decent value on the plus 3.5. But kind of rolling on here into our first snoozer of the week, and we do have a couple snoozers, but our first of the week, Colts against the Saints. Two teams under 500 coming in at 3-4. Colts plus 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I rocked with the Colts last week. That was one of the hot picks I gave out against the Browns. Everybody was on the Browns. I took the Colts plus 3.5. Nobody thought that game was going to be 39-37, but who the hell cares what the score is? They covered by 3.5, or they kept it within the 3 for the plus 3.5 to cash. So I was the only one who gave that out. I know a lot of people were on the Browns. That was my highlight of the weekend. The rest of the week was shit. So what do you got here, Bri? So for my pick, I will just say I'm going to rock with the Colts plus 1. I'll even take them on the money line plus 100. I like them at home. at home on a 1 o'clock game, the Colts seem to do all right. So give me a money line +1, whatever you want to call it, and I'd love to know what you got here, Brian.
Yeah, before I take a pick in this game, I was one of those squares on the under last week in the Colts Browns, and the under kind of lost in the first half there, so
Wasn't close.
that was rough. But
Yeah,
here, I mean, there can't be two different quarterbacks than Derek Carr and Gardner Minshew. I mean, one you love watching, and one gives you a headache. So I'm gonna go with the one that doesn't give me a headache. I'm gonna go with Gardner Minshew, that +1.5. Maybe the Saints defense makes a couple big plays. The Saints pull one out on the road, but with the hook there, I like getting them +1.5. So we can ride the Colts on that together.
yeah. So think both our picks there. We'll go +1.5. I won't. I mean, the money line pick, it's good value at +100, but I'm with Brian, like the +1.5 there. At home in a spot, the Saints really haven't looked great. I know Chris Olave had like a little incident go on. Is he available this weekend?
I don't know, but Derek Carr drives his receivers that insane, I guess. You know, he had the Henry Ruggs thing, and now you get Olave getting arrested. So
He is not had the best of luck with his valuable receivers. So not sure what's going on behind closed doors there. Hopefully, Derek Carr never plays for the Eagles. Kind of moving on here. Ugly game, sure. I love the Texans. We got the Panthers and the Texans. Is it in Carolina? I believe it's in Carolina.
Carolina.
Panthers are +3.5 here. I've been I still think the Texans are winning that division. Sorry, Jack. No, you don't want to hear it. I love the Texans this year. I'm kind of like Brian with the whole aesthetic thing. I love the way CJ Stroud looks in that Texans uniform. And I just like watching CJ Stroud play, man. He's electric. They just give him the reins, man. If that guy needs to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game, they'll let him do it. They do not care.
Mhm.
And I love an organization that just says, here's the reins, man. Let's see what you got. And I think he's doing relatively well. I mean, 3-3 in his rookie year on a team that nobody really expects much from. It will be a battle with the Jaguars. I'll give them that. The Jags are obviously 5-2, and I think the Texans are 3-3, so there's some ground to make up there. But yeah, I do like the Texans, the Texans, and I think they can make that division a lot more interesting at the end of the year than people are kind of giving them credit for. So I am just going to flat out take the Texans on the money line. I don't like the 3 in the hook at all. So just give me Texans money line, and I will rock with that. Brian, you already know what I'm going to say.
Well, I think this is gonna be a fun game. I really do. I think Bryce Young has something to prove here. I think he feels disrespected, as probably warranted. I think people are right to disrespect him.
He hasn't looked great. He hasn't looked great.
He has not looked great. I like the over here. I like a sneaky over
Interesting
here.
play.
I think the Panthers are going to be mad. I think coming out of the bye, they're going to have some tricks up their sleeve. Texans defense isn't that great. And like you said about CJ Stroud, I mean, he's going to cook every week. So give me the over. Pretty confident in that play. I also need Dalton Schultz to get me about 50 fantasy points this week. So
Good
that's
luck.
that's into that a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to need to do a lot of praying Sunday morning for that Dalton Schultz 50 fantasy points. But
Probably.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those is what it is games. I'm excited to see CJ Stroud out there and face off. You see Stroud's going to play with a little juice. He did go number 2, and Bryce Young went first. So I think
Oh, he
there's
doesn't have-
some total. He's going to have the little juice going, a little fired up. So I like the sound of that. Give me the Texans on the money line. Brian, you gave your pick. And then kind of just moving on here, we're going to rock with the Cowboys and the Rams. I thought I liked the Rams this year, but they kind of suck. Um, some talent on that roster. You have an aging Matt Stafford who still seems to be able to sling the ball. He's got Puka Nakua or whatever the hell his name is. And obviously Cooper Cup is a elite receiver in the National Football League. So he's got some weapons there. I think the O-line's just okay at best. I don't think they're really anything crazy. And the defense is just, again, average. So probably about a 500 ball club, which is what their record pretty much reflects right now. But I think the Cowboys come out pretty fired up at home. A chance to get a win, but who knows? Stafford's from Texas, so I think he could also play hot here. I really don't know where to go on this game at all. So before I give my pick, I want to pick or not pick your brain, but I want to hear what you got, Bry. I want to know which way you're swinging.
I mean, my notes for this game, all I had really was the Rams kind of suck and the Cowboys kind of suck. So with that, I'll give you the under. Dak Prescott in his career against teams under 500 is very good against the spread. I believe he's 26 and 17.
Hmm.
So that's something to think about. At the same time, I don't like either of these teams. I think the Cowboys are fake good. I think the Rams we just crowned as good way too early, and they're just not very.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is a game that a lot of people kind of circle as it might be good, and it turns out to be 13-10.
Yeah, I mean, I think both offenses are probably better than both defenses is a fair statement. So I think the underplay is honestly a little wild from you. It's definitely where more of the money is if you're just looking at over under. But I mean, why not make this interesting and give me the over four? So you can have the under 45 and a half. I'll take the over 45 and a half.
All right.
And since it's just such, a who cares, I say why not? I also do like the over just because I think the Rams have an ability to put up a little bit of points, and Dallas, obviously, against the Rams defense, should be able to put up some points. So I could see this being like a 33-21 Cowboys win or something along those lines. Maybe even like 33-28 with like a late Rams nonsense touchdown. So I do like the over 45 and a half. So it's not just to go against you, but part of it's to go against you because why not? Let's keep things interesting. But yeah, enough of that game. Like you said, both teams kind of suck. Like you said, fake good for the Cowboys, and the Rams are they're mediocre. Next snoozer of the week, Titans Falcons, and I know the Falcons are 4-3, but I think kind of branching off what we just talked about with the Cowboys, Falcons are definitely fake good. I wouldn't even call them fake good. They just haven't really played anybody of that, significant talent wise or elite wise. I mean, if somebody's like, "Oh, the Falcons are 4-3, they got a shot," this and that, I'm not buying in whatsoever. I do see in the notes the Titans are wearing the Oilers jerseys. Think that's interesting. I think that's very interesting. Whenever teams wear those crazy, throwback jerseys or whatever they got, city jerseys. I don't know what they call them now, but yeah, give me the Titans money line. Why not? Derrick Henry on the trade block. I think he'll come out a little fired up. And I'm just not sold on the Falcons at all. I think what's the guy's name? Arthur Smith. Is that their coach?
Arthur Smith, yep.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him. I think that guy's a little bit of a bozo. So give me the Titans money line. And Bry, what do you got?
Arthur Smith is your stash brother right now. I'm surprised
He
you're.
is. He is. He
But
is.
yeah, the Falcons they're not a good football team. These teams are very similar in the fact that I think the Titans realized they're not a good football team, so now they're selling. The
Right.
Falcons are young enough, they can't really afford to do that, but both teams are just not very good at all. This game
Nope.
sucks. I don't want to watch this game. I don't want to see this game on Red Zone. Scott Hansen, I know you're watching. Do not show me this game. Um, Will Levis and Malik Willis are going to get the snaps at quarterback. So there's something there, maybe a little quarterback competition for next year.
Yeah.
We'll see if Will Levis has anything in him. I really don't know.
I'm
Uh,
not confident.
we saw Malik Willis last year, and he was pretty horrible. So maybe Derrick Henry gets a couple throws in there. He's got an arm. I don't I don't know what to pick in this game.
Well, so let me ask this: who's starting? Is it Willis is starting, or are they throwing Levis out there?
I believe Levis is going to start, and
So
then
they're
Willis
going to do
is going to
that,
play the majority of the game,
but
which
they might have
makes sense. But
they're going to have a quick leash on Levis.
yeah, yeah. If you look at their fantasy projected points, it's like Will Levis projected 4 and Malik Willis is 6. So
Okay, so that's pretty disgusting.
it's pretty
Uh,
gross.
Don't feel great on the money line there, but I just can't bet on the Falcons. I can't do it. I really can't. Could
Yeah.
definitely see them winning, but I'm not. I don't want to take. I'll take the team wearing the cool jerseys over betting on the Falcons.
Yeah, give me DeAndre Hopkins, whatever the fuck his receiving over is at. He'll look cool in that jersey. I'm sure the young quarterbacks will just be looking for him, so I like that play.
Cool. So we got yeah, Hopkins over on the receiving yards. Interesting play, as I think he's been a little subpar this year, and that hasn't had help at quarterback either. So
The Titans
obviously
as a
not.
team have been subpar, man.
Yeah, so not entirely on him. I don't want to rag on Hopkins. He's my guy. Big fan of the pod too. So shout out to DeAndre for loving the podcast. Friend of the pod actually, but yeah, you rock with his over on the receiving yards. I'll take the Titans money line because why not? And Will Levis is getting a shot, and I know he has a smoking hot girlfriend, so hopefully he plays pretty well because of that.
I hate to you the news, but they did break up.
Oh, they did. Okay, so yeah, clearly I'm not in the loop on that. Was it at least recently, or am I like way off here?
It was about a month ago.
Okay, so I'm not terrible.
No,
Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the girlfriends and the boyfriends. Why do you know that? Like what?
it popped up on Twitter like a month ago, and I was like, oh,
Huh, interesting. Yeah. Why do you know that, man? Like, you should have just let somebody call me out in the comments when we post this. There's Brian, up to date with Will Levis's dating life.
I mean, it's even more reason to like the Titans. He's pissed. He's got the extra juice in him.
That's why I said Titans money line. There you go. All right, enough of that. This game's nonsense. Way too much on this game. Over to another nonsense game.
Hey,
Even though
hey.
even though the Jets have looked okay, Jets versus the Giants in New Jersey at Jet Life Stadium. Brian, I'll let you take it away.
I just I'm just not even gonna acknowledge that comment. Daniel Jones is out in this one, which I actually love. I wrote an article today, views from tech400.com, about Tyrod Taylor. I love him playing. I think he should be the starter. He's shown that the last 2 weeks. He could be 2-0. He could really be 2-0 as a starter. They fluffed it against Buffalo a couple times on the goal line. It happens. All time in this series, the Giants are 8-6. They've lost the last two. But yeah, I like the Giants in this game. I like the Giants money line. Jalen Hyatt looks better with Tyrod Taylor. He's had 96 yards in the last two games. With Daniel Jones, he had 99 and 5. Darren Waller's looks better with Tyrod Taylor, 141 yards the last couple games. So yeah, I like the Giants here. They'll get the win. Give me Giants money line. Give me Tyrod Taylor to score a touchdown, and Jalen Hyatt's over receiving yards.
Interesting. I'm obviously going to go the other way here and take the Jets money line. You're taking the Giants and Jalen Hyatt's over receiving yards, which is asinine because that guy, I think, maybe gets 15 snaps a game. Um, I will give you for Tyrod though. He has looked obviously way better than Daniel Jones, so that's something I guess for you to look for. The guy who's been a journeyman for his whole NFL career. That's who you have
He's good.
um, as your quarterback, and he played, I guess, well against the Commanders to get you guys a win. So whatever. Give me the Jets money line in Jet Life. Moving on to the Dolphins and the Pats. Big spot here for the Dolphins. I gotta go whatever. I'm gonna stay away from the spread just because I can't go with spreads on the Pats anymore. I took their spreads every week of the season. They screwed me over. The 1 week I don't take them, what happens? They cover.
Went out right.
So yeah. So done with that. Learned my lesson. I don't want anything to do with that. But I will go Tyreek Hill. I don't know what the number is, and that's my bad. I'm sure we'll pop it up on the screen right now. But give me Tyreek Hill's over on receptions. It's probably like 8.5 or something like that, maybe 7.5. I don't know what the number is, but give me the over there. And yeah, that's the play I'll be taking. I do know we have a possible Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot that. Like probably because the guy
It's
hasn't
been gone a
played.
while.
The
Yeah.
guy hasn't played in forever. But yeah, potential Ramsey return. That's something to look out for. But give me Tyreek Hill's over receptions. We'll get that popped up on the screen for you guys. But yeah, whatever that over under is, give that to me. And I'm pretty confident that'll hit because the guy's been an absolute machine. I think, 10 plus targets every game easily. So give me Tyreek Hill's receptions, whatever that over is. And yeah, Bry, give me some magic here, man. What do you got?
Yeah, uh, this is a weird one. The spread seems kind of high. It's supposed to
It's
rain.
very high. It's very high.
With the rain, with the weird weather, with the Dolphins preparing to go to Germany, I think I like the Patriots. I hate to say it, but I think I like the
Oh,
Patriots
God.
here.
Don't fall into the vortex, man.
I've
Don't fall
hated
into the vortex.
I've hated on Mac Jones all year long, and he has proved me right. He's been absolutely dog shit. But I like the Patriots. 9.5, that's a lot of points. I will actually buy one. I'll take him plus 10.5.
Why not?
But I don't fuck me here, Mac. I
He
like
will.
the Patriots.
He
I like
will.
the
He
Patriots.
will. He will. And you're going to get sucked into a vortex and you're just going to diminish your record uh, for the pod. So, or the pod picks. But yeah, interesting play. I'll just go with Tyreek's over on his receptions. You can have fun sweating out the Pats on the points. Knowing me and knowing you, that'll just hit with ease, and the Patriots will lose by 5. Every time I touch them, it's a disaster. So good luck there. Divisional matchup of two teams who usually have a winning record but are both under 500. Vikings coming off, they're on cloud nine right now. I mean, they just knocked off the Niners at home. Kirk looked good, so he's in the clouds. Team's playing well. I think TJ Hawkinson got hurt maybe 15 times last week, and still is on track to play this weekend. So interesting stuff there. Yeah, Jordan Addison looks electric. The Vikings offense looked to be figuring it out. Everything seems to be starting to churn. I guess it just took them a little bit to get going. But yeah, the Vikings are starting to look better. With all that being said, I'm going Packers plus 3. I know the line is like plus 1.5. I'm
Mhm.
just going to take them to cover the field goal. So give me a point and a half here, I guess. And I will take the Packers plus 3. Pretty sure you can get that at some pretty decent value still. And yeah, I'll go Packers plus 3 at home in Lambeau. Uh, Vikings are coming off, big win. I think that will affect them. Divisional game, no matter how good or bad a team is in the NFL, a divisional game is always usually pretty close. I think that's why we're seeing a close line here. So give me the Packers plus 3. And Bry, you going to go similar or are you going to go 180 here? What do you got?
Well, before I give you my pick, what is going on here? This line
Right.
makes zero sense. The Vikings just had a huge win. The Packers look horrible. The Vikings should get back to 500. Jordan Addison is electric. Second in the league in touchdowns. Kirk Cousins looks good. Madison's Madison. He's whatever. They can't run the ball. That's an issue. But I mean, they look good as a team, and they look like they're ready to make the playoffs again. This line makes zero sense. That's why the Packers are going to win this game.
Right.
I'm not going to fall into that trap. I'm going to take the Packers on the team total. I'm going to take their over. I don't think the Vikings defense is any good, and I don't trust either team to win this game. So Packers team total over is my official play.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, like you said, dude, I think this is where, a lot of America just starts hammering the Vikings because of how good they looked last week. But again, divisional matchup in Lambeau, and Vegas always knows something. So on a close line like that, watch out. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to buy the point and a half to get it out to plus 3. So that's what I'm rocking with. You obviously got your Packers team total over, and I think that'll obviously be a fun one to watch because it's pretty historic divisional matchup. Packers Vikings always has some juice around it. Although both teams are off to slow starts. Vikings obviously starting to move in the right direction, but I think we maybe see the Packers come out with a win. But at the bare minimum, let's see them cover that +3. Moving on, kind of to Seattle and Cleveland, two teams 4-2. Going to get another PJ Walker show. Deshaun Watson already, ruled out for the weekend. So we will get PJ Walker. Seattle's wearing the throwbacks. I think Seattle's defense has looked pretty strong this year, and Cleveland's defense has been pretty legit as well. So I don't know what the over under is, but I would tend to lean on the under here. 37.5. I am taking that under. Absolutely 100%. Browns defense is legit, and I don't see, even though I get it, the Browns scored a lot of points last week. I think a lot of people are going to be slamming the over because they think it's super low. You know, I don't see, the Browns D is good. I don't see the Seahawks offense going off, and I don't see PJ Walker having a crazy game, going all the way to the West Coast and having to play in Seattle. So I will take the under there. And yeah, I think I don't know where to sway on the spread. Maybe you have some more insight, but my official pick will be the under 37.5. What do you got, Brian?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, dude, what's going on? Like, you don't want to play foot. He took himself out of the game last week, was not concussed. Apparently now he is concussed. I don't know what's going on with him. At this point, you might as well retire, bro. Like, you're he's pissing me off. There's so many bad quarterbacks in this league, and you expect a guy like Deshaun Watson. I know Browns fans expect a guy like Deshaun Watson to be good, to show up and just be good. And he is horrible. Like, not bad. He is horrible. PJ Walker looked better than him. PJ Walker last week looked better than Deshaun Watson has in a Cleveland Browns uniform.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
That is asinine. So, PJ Walker, since he's looking so good, I'm going to take the Browns. I'm
Wow.
going to take the Browns at the plus number here, +3.5. Their defense is great. I like them on the road. PJ Walker, I think he's got one or two good starts left in him. So give me the Browns going 5-2.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, we'll see what they can do there. If I had to make a pick on that, I would lean towards the Browns +3.5. I do kind of like them, but I like that under, man. I just feel strong about that under. I know they'll probably make me eat it, and it'll be a fucking shootout or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't take another Browns under after last week.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna jump onto that, and kind of like you jumping on the Pats, I'm gonna jump on the under. So give me that, and let's move on. Niners against the Bengals. Yeah, I haven't kept up with the Niners injury report. What do we have for that? It is out in San Francisco. And the line seems kind of low, only -4.5. That seems like a line the Niners should be able to cover. But I will let you give some insight and a pick before I drop anything.
Yeah, so McCaffrey, it looks like it's a slight tear. So he's just going to have to play through it. And he'll play for as long as he can take the pain. Brock Purdy is progressing quickly through concussion protocol, but like you said, this line's still kind of weird. So it looks
Mhm.
like we're trending towards Sam Darnold this week. And I mean, Sam Darnold, first round quarterback, big talent, and in Kyle Shanahan's system, I guess that's where the thinking is that this team's still going to be favored by 4.5. I like Joe Burrow here. I think they're been slowly figuring it out in Cincinnati, and this is kind of their coming out party where they say, "Hey, we're still here. The Bills are struggling. We're going to take over that second best team in the AFC. The Jaguars aren't for real. We're not even going to talk about them. But this is Joe Burrow's coming out party. He's going to hit Jamar Chase a lot. Joe Mixon's going to play well. And the Niners are going to lose their third straight game. Give me the Bengals to plus the points, and I'll throw a little on the money line too.
You think T. Higgins gets involved at all, Brian?
There's a reason I left them out.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll see if T can get back on track this week as I have him in fantasy. So, yeah, forced to start him because Jerome Ford was doubtful all week. So I'm pretty sure he is going to be out. We're going to roll with T. Higgins. Don't really have any other viable option unless I want to roll with Ezekiel Elliott, who did score a touchdown last week. So I guess I still have some time to make a decision there.
Going to cover
But
the
yeah,
+9, so you might as well. It's going to be a close game.
it is going to be a close game. But yeah, not touching that. You're not going to talk me into it. We're already off that game. Back to Bengals Niners. Yeah, I really don't know where to sway on this. So for shits and giggles, give me T. Higgins over receiving yards. Why the hell not? Yeah, so we got our picks there. I think that'll be a fun one for me to rip my hair out on. Probably going to do a lot of that, watching T. Higgins get targeted, but drop footballs. Yeah. So moving on here, Ravens Cardinals, another one with a big line, big line. Ravens coming off a blowout win. Can we see them do it again against the Cardinals? I don't know. That line just seems totally crazy. So I will go with Gus Edwards over rushing yards, Lamar Jackson over rushing yards. Those are my picks for the game because I have no idea where to go on that spread, and that over under seems high, but I'm sure if I take the under, shit will go down bad. So, Gus Edwards over rushing, Lamar Jackson over rushing. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't hate that. This seems like a weird enough game where Devin Duvernay finds himself in the end zone. So that's gonna be my pick here. Probably a lot of juice on that. So I'll take that, and then I'll take something with a little less juice. Uh, Give me the Gus Edwards, the Gus bus to get into the end zone as well. So I'll kind of hedge out there. Gus is going to score. You like his over. He's going to have a big day. They're going to run the
Yeah.
ball all over the Cardinals. So give me Gus to score, and then Devin Duvernay is going to find his way in the end zone too. So
Yep, that's why I like Gus, and obviously, Lamar Jackson will get his scramble yards. I think he should hit whatever his over rushing is. And he likes running the ball, so
that's
I could, yeah, so I could see him flying all over the field in Arizona. So those are the picks for that one. Should be another interesting one, and then the team moving on to the team who has just been pretty much covering any pick I've taken. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. I am going to shave off a point and take the Chiefs -6.5. The -7.5 right now is -102. So you can still get pretty great value if you take the Chiefs -6.5. Is a divisional game. Probably seems like the line should be a lot more. Vegas always knows something. I don't care. Give me Mahomes. I got him in fantasy. He's electric. Obviously, the best quarterback in the in the National Football League. I'll take a point off there and give me the Chiefs -6.5.
I like that. I mean, the first time these two teams played, it was not. It was close on the scoreboard, but the game was not close. The
Right.
Chiefs had to settle for a lot of field goals. They're not going to do that again. This is going to be a blowout in Mile High. Give me the Chiefs minus. I'll be ballsy. I'll take the 7.5.
Okay.
Seven and a half.
Interesting.
And let's go with Harrison Bucker over 1.5 field goals.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. But one little quick thing. Harrison Bucker had a cold. He had a head cold this week. ESPN, why does he need an injury designation? I know it doesn't mean anything, but why does he need to be questionable all week? And why does he need a designation going into the weekend? A question. He had a head cold. He's playing. I don't need to hear it. It's ridiculous and it's bullcrap. Take the designation away.
Kickers only practice for like 20 minutes a day, too.
It's ridiculous. Do you agree or disagree that it's ridiculous
I agree
they
with
give
you.
him an injury?
It's a protocol thing. If he's not seen on the field, they have to report it.
I don't care.
Kind of the reason the Sixers were in trouble last night with the whole Harden thing. But yeah, I agree with you. It is ridiculous.
Like it's a freaking head cold, man. He's gonna play this weekend. He meant like
You never know.
he missed like a day of practice. He's a kicker. You can play with the head cold. God. Anyway, that shouldn't have got me that fired up, but it did when I saw that because I hate the injury designations.
Yeah,
Oh, this guy was a limited. He's probably going to play this weekend, but we're going to keep a Q next to his name all week. I hate it. Anyway, probably shouldn't have got fired up there, but I did. Bears in Los Angeles against the Chargers. Another one where I don't really know where to sway. The Chargers haven't looked good. The Bears haven't looked good at all either. So I will go. Let's see Austin Eckler get back on track here, man. Give me Austin Eckler anytime touchdown, and I will leave it at that. I need to see him get rocking and rolling again. So I will go Eckler anytime tutty.
I don't hate that. I'm gonna take the over here. Um, Chargers are a big over team.
Yeah, they are.
Their defense sucks. Their offense is good enough. Uh, the Bears offense looked kind of good last week, led by D2 legend Badgett. So we'll see. But yeah, give me the over. And I also like the Bears. Bears plus 8.5. So that's gonna be my two here. Definitely like the over a little more, but I'm feeling ballsy, so I'll throw both in.
Yeah, Bears quarterback Tyson Bagent, the D2 legend. I don't know if you saw the story, Brian, but isn't his father like this world renowned like arm wrestling champion or like world class guy? I'm pretty sure I saw a video of his father being like this amazing arm wrestling guy. And some reporter, I don't even know where they were, but some reporter was interviewing him and did a live arm wrestle with the reporter and Badgin's father completely smoked him. So interesting
Oh,
little funny
wow.
thing there. Funny thing there. Kid's a D2 quarterback playing in the NFL, and his father is like this, I don't know, 5-time, 8-time, 10-time, whatever it is, like world arm wrestling champion. So just pretty neat fact there on the kid who's starting to get some national media attention, not only from his playing as a quarterback, but from his father slamming people's wrists into the ground. Yeah, jumping over to the Raiders and the Detroit Lions here. I think this is a bounce back spot for the Lions at home. You'll get your, probably a Fox game at Ford Field. You'll get all your aesthetic of the Lions and the jerseys at Ford Field. You'll get the whole thing. Again, don't love the 7.5, but I will shave it down to 6.5. So give me the Lions minus 6.5. Big bounce back spot, obviously, after a tough loss in Baltimore last weekend. So I will take the Lions minus 6.5, and hopefully they do not screw me over.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. I think yeah, I'll ride that with you. At 6.5. Don't really love any player props in this game. The Raiders are just don't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
The Lions, yeah, 6.5. I like that number. Let's ride.
I think we'll just keep it short and sweet. Lions minus 6.5. We'll shave a point off. Take the 6.5. Big bounce back spot, kind of like I said, and we'll just roll with it. But yeah, that actually was the slate. I didn't even realize that was the Monday night game. So pretty crappy Monday night game. But I think we do get a
We'll have
oh
a
my god.
weird
And
game.
I didn't even realize this. So sorry guys. The Bears Chargers is the
That's
Sunday
Sunday
night
night.
game. What
Yeah,
an absolute joke.
that's Sunday night.
How are they going to follow up the best Sunday night game of the year in the Eagles and the Dolphins and then throw that nonsense on there? So I will leave it with that. Those are our picks of the week. And Brian, what do you got here, man? Wrapping it up.
I just saw Bryce Harper at the bar. Did not buy him a shot. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
2-3.
Thank you. Jeez. Well, that'll wrap it up for us, guys. We appreciate everybody watching. Please follow, tag along, and go out there and try and find somebody handing out free picks. And if you do find somebody handing out free picks, check their record because I guarantee we're better. But in all seriousness, I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, do what you got to do to help Support the boys out. We're doing this just because we love talking sports, love giving out free content, and always check out that website. I mean, if you want to just see some really dynamite write ups, we have listicles on there. Just recaps of every night in sport. There's a lot of good stuff on there that I think you don't have to pay for, very little advertisement. So it's just, hey, go on there, read some good stuff about sports, and yeah, those are our picks. I look to stay red hot this week. I'm due for a bounce back week, so use that information as you will. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great Halloween week, as Halloween's on Tuesday, and I will catch y'all in the next pod. Peace.
Giants are making the playoffs.
Oh God.